evening, everyone. What's up? My name is Celina Cordoba L, and I think I'm going to entitle this More Than Skin series. What's up, everyone? I am the maker and the owner, proud owner of Cordoba Organics, and I just wanted to thank everyone not only for tuning in, but for having patience. I've not only been in a lot of production lately, but recently I've thought of different ways I can connect with everyone that's not only supported throughout the years, but just answering general questions about skincare and taking a different approach. I've been real quiet for like the past 8 to 10 years, just because I've been not only applying things that I've learned, not just studying and all that other good stuff, but literally putting things to the test, trying stuff out, investing in ingredients that I didn't really feel existed in a lot of skin products, and to be honest, just really thinking of ways that I could not only start off from a small place in terms of not really having an investor or any money to begin with, but not allowing that to limit my vision, like let's say 10 years ago. So I've been in Miami for 13 years now, and I'm going to jump into a quick story on how I even kind of got motivated and hit to understanding that not only lifestyle choices and skin and food and diet and everything were important, but really having an honest conversation with myself at a younger age based on just me going through stuff. So Brooklyn to Miami sessions starting this evening. Thank you guys so much, man. I wasn't always in a bathroom like this. 2 years ago, I remember I would go to sleep with the sound of like rats and mice in the walls above me in Brooklyn. I lived in a basement apartment, and it was so chaotic in terms of the energy in the walls, but it was warm, and it was something that I could afford in terms of just like taking care of my son. And you know, when you are raised in a certain environment, but like let's say things happen and you don't maintain, like my mom passed, right? But even after that, you don't have a house, you don't have certain shit that you thought you might have. Life kind of took a different turn for me in my later teens. And I just really became aware of saving money, finance, and not having anybody help me, you know, outside of myself, and until I, you know, really attracted and met a seer, you know. I was really on my own, didn't have really any family like that. So all of that's to say, I was very, very humbled and grateful to go through the stages of having conversations and saying, okay, I have to work 3 jobs to get rid of my student loans. I'm gonna have to wait tables in order to save money for a vision that I have, you know, in my 30s. So that's kind of how it started. But what started my journey on just being aware with health and motivated me to get my doctorate in holistic sciences was this brother in Brooklyn who was an amazing physician. And Dr. Davidson, God rest his soul, was the first like holistic practitioner that we knew of. And when I say we, it's all people in Brooklyn in like the 80s and 90s. You know, there was this guy in Crown Heights who had this beautiful brownstone and an amazing business, and was really about like alternative medicine and alternative ways of healing one's body. I was 15 years old, and you know, I'd heard about him, and my mom was like, you gotta go to this doctor. He's supposed to be really dope, supposed to be really good, right? So long story short, the reason why I went to him in the first place is because I suffered from enlarged tonsils when I was younger. So I got my tonsils removed just from having really like strep throat every week as a child. I suffered from strep throat, a lot of runny nose issues, because my mom, like a lot of other parents, you know, back in the day, really thought that milk and dairy was the way to go to not only strengthen our teeth and our bones, but, you know, general healthy shit. Like, give her a glass of milk, she'll, you know, get strong and healthy. And that was a big thing in my family, just, you know, bone strength and teeth strength and all of that. So at like the age of 3, I was drinking milk after I was breastfed, and I was allergic to it. Now, I don't think my mom knew because I didn't break out a lot, but over the years, it started to really affect me. Milk probably affects most of us. Milk, dairy, and just eating meat, right? Those were the things I grew up on, coming from, I would say, a Latin-based diet, or a diet. My family, originally from Spain, from Cordoba, but they got kicked out in the early 1900s. And my grandpops, who was an electrical engineer and really, really dope, got sent to Panama to work on the canal there. So they've been in Panama for a long time, and both my parents were born in Panama. So first generation here in this country, I'm grateful that a lot of the little things that my parents did kind of stayed with us. And I always felt that we had a different way of approaching culture and a different way of approaching food. And back in the day, we ate everything. Sauce, pernil, whatever was cheap and good, bacalao. I grew up on a lot of different cultural foods. So I didn't know that I was allergic to certain stuff until, like the age of 14. I already gotten my adenoids and my tonsils removed, but I still was getting sick a lot. And I went to this doctor, Dr. Davidson, Michael Davidson, and he straight up said to me, I was like 14 going on 15, and he was like, look, I'm gonna be real with you. If you can eliminate all wheat flour, dairy, and meat from your diet for at least 3 months, come back and tell me how you feel, right? And I was like, really? Like wheat? First of all, bagels, cream cheese, pizza, that's my whole diet. What are you talking about, right? He was like, I know, it's not even really for your weight issues because, you're active, but you could lose a couple pounds. You're a little, he was real. You could lose a couple pounds, you're a little too buxom for your size. What do you find? So I got off of meat, dairy, wheat flour when I was 15. I did it for 3 months, went back to him, felt like gold. Didn't have to get Celdane shots. I used to get Claritin shots, Celdane shots for my allergies. I couldn't go out in the park, none of that. Not only did my skin heal, my little dry spots started to fade on my skin, but that was the first time that I really realized, like, wow, the things that I love to eat really are affecting, I'm moving a little closer, really are affecting not only my skin, but they're not good for me. It's not good for me. So of course, you lose all this weight. People think that you have a boob job. I move further back because the light hits me in a weird spot. Anyway, everybody kind of dissed, like, oh, you're losing all your body. All of that's to say is that when you do make a life choice to be healthier for yourself, you're going to see changes in your body. You're going to see changes in your skin. My skin became really, really clear and smoother. All the little pimples that I was breaking out with started to go away. And I was just like, okay, this is the diet. But again, looking kind of thicker, having body, that was popular, right? So, okay, trading the body for health. And that's literally was the choice that I made at like 15. So just to continue that journey, of course, you dip and all that, you do your dairy, you do your bagels. But I started to see the difference from when I didn't indulge in wheat flour. I started to see the difference in my skin and all that. So I'm not here to encourage people to get off dairy and meat. If you find that you're healthy and you feel good eating a meat-based diet, then hey man, all for you. But what I did learn and what I have learned is that meat definitely does affect your digestive system. It affects your colon, it affects your lymphatic system, it affects everything, right? So if you can eliminate it on a major scale, like let's say not eat it 3 times a week, but eat it once and then eliminate that to once a month, you'll start to see little changes. I do think that diet plays a major 99% role in our skincare and in the growth of our hair and all other health key. But we live in a society where a lot of what we could have experienced, we can't because we're aligning ourselves with different people, different cultural groups, different races and ethnicities that might have have different rules and different ways in which their skin may maintain its health. And I say that because I remember Dr. Davidson said to me, you're a darker skinned brown woman. You should always remember, don't eat foods and try to eliminate foods that are white. White flour, white starches, processed foods that aren't full of color. That's something for you to be aware of, because even though this isn't like taught, what you eat and the colors that are imbued in food does play a role on not only how you feel, but on everything, right? So that was also something that I realized, like, okay, let me hit this and just make sure. That's also something that I realized, like, oh, word? Like, he was like, no, it's not to say you can't enjoy your cauliflower, but switch it up for broccoli. Eat more melanin-rich foods, because that's your color. You're a melanated woman. So that kind of led me on to thinking about just, applying that to different aspects of life. And I really have seen not only a change in myself, but in everybody that I've met in life that has had certain health issues. It does really start from your diet. That's where most mucus and toxins will be formed. It'll affect arthritis if you have, arthritic joints, all of that. So to jump into from thinking about how food plays a major role, drinking water, making sure we have the right drinks and foods and smoothies is all really important. I wouldn't recommend and say that people enjoy, drinking a little cannabis tea and all that type of stuff. So I don't, that's about it. I don't really want to talk, and I don't think about other companies or other products anymore. I really started thinking about producing instead of consuming so much, because again, if I'm finding fault in products on the market, then perhaps I should start making and investing in my own. I never found face washes that had the amount of aloe that my skin needed. Every product that I tried, and I tried everything on the market, literally had about 3 or 4 ingredients on the back that I not only couldn't pronounce, but when I started researching them, they were all agents of drying agents, stripping agents, bleaching agents, everything that I had heard and learned from people that had gone to school for skin. It's like, I'm not here to down anybody's process, but for instance, when you study yoga and go get certified for yoga, you learn, the basics and how to apply it and help others. But I wouldn't even go to school for learning about certain chemical-based skin stuff, because it's chemical-based. It's not anything based in nature. It's kind of like driving a car without understanding what the automobile's parts are. And I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to study a system that really wasn't designed to help heal our skin. A lot of things now are definitely there in society to encourage us to spend more money, to not heal ourselves from within, because it keeps things kind of financially going. And I just didn't want to complain or have fault in so many other products, because I couldn't see a difference in my knee scars or in my keloid hypertrophic, little stuff. I didn't see any change, and anytime I washed my face, 2 or 3 weeks into it, I was breaking out. I didn't find anything that allowed my skin long-term results, and I was frustrated. This was like in my 20s. And I said, I definitely know what I would like to do, but it's gonna cost and it's gonna take time. So I just jumped in my 30s, and now that I'm 43, I'm really grateful I did. I have over 70 products now, and it's something that's grown to a degree that I'm so grateful that hopefully I can be able to start employing and have some stock options and all these other things, right? But again, you cannot think into next week before getting stuff done today. And I really wanted to build something that not only represented myself, the things that my clan and my tribe and my ancestors imbued in me, but also giving homage to homeopathic remedies and flower essences, and really taking my time to chuck aloe and to think of different face washes and body salves and serums that were really going to work. Like, and by bypassing all the chaos and information that's really just there to confuse us. Like, skincare is supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be some labyrinth and mystery of testing and knowing and throwing out different terms that really just confuse. If it's not hydrating, if it's not moisturizing, if it's not based with, if it doesn't have, if it has too many parabens, if it has too many fragrances, if it doesn't have natural preservatives, grapeseed oil, rosemary extract, I stay away from it because they're gonna break me out. And 98% of the products in stores, 99, are all chemical imbued, all have fragrances. Even when they say fragrance free, that smell that makes that product specific has a fragrance in it, whether it be a PEG, a chlorimoxy, they all have drying stripping agents that will affect not only melanated skin, but people that are Asian, Caucasians, all of it. But again, if you're practicing artificial eating, preservatives, stuff that's not real food based, then things that aren't real are going to work for you. If you are practicing partially being aware of health and holistic, and can I replace this Advil with some tea? Can I think of the results and the side effects that, you know, certain drugs might be taking place in my, it does matter and it does count. When we start to become aware of these things, then we don't want to use lotions that have mineral oil, water. Water's in everything. Like, I don't want water in my products. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with wanting more that's on my skin, because if I'm eating well, then I want everything that I put on my skin to be transferable. And that's what my products not only provide, but it took me a good 10 years to not only litmus test stuff, but to hazmat suit stuff on, and to really try on myself and other people, and to back up and say, let the products speak for themselves. I don't always want to have to pay someone or, you know, get a group of influencers. No shade on people that do, but I want my products to speak for themselves, because that's what a product should do. I don't always want to have to be in front of, so I took a hiatus in not always talking about it, because I didn't want to be the main marketer. I wanted other people to start to feel the benefits and see. So I'm going to jump into a couple of the key questions that I get all the time on just the different face washes and why, but I have a couple. Kelp Help is, I'm going to just say the names of them. We have Kelp Help, Beets and Roses, Rose Clay Alchemy, and Banana Face Alchemy. Banana Face Alchemy, first of all of them are healing for eczema, psoriasis. I made sure of that. It's just point blank. But the differences really are just in like flushing, bringing certain color out in your skin. The Beets and Roses isn't stripping at all. It has over 17 like different, oh my God, I could read off the ingredients right now, but I can tell you everything that it's made with. It's made with about 17 different ingredients, ranging from jojoba oil to macadamia to a little bit of apricot. I have one big concoction in the thing that I use a little bit of the oil that I need for the face washes. And it starts off with the aloe. The aloe's shucked, and then it's a huge process, but I figured it out over time. And not to bore, let's just say that the Beets and Roses is really good for drier skin, for skin that needs hydration, for skin that's sensitive. You want a little color, wintertime, you feel a little dull. Kelp Help is really great for people that have a little bit of breakouts, but don't break out like pimply, and don't want all that tea tree and strong, like astringent based stuff on their face. Kelp Help has kelp in it and seaweed. It's really moisturizing. It's almost like sea moss for your face. And then Rose Clay Alchemy is amazing. That was kind of started with Amore because he was in the pool a lot, and I wanted his skin to not be stripped. But I use Rose Clay every day. I use Kelp Help every day. And I do use Beets and Roses like every other day. Beets and Roses actually brightens my skin a little, so I don't really feel that I need it as much out here under the sun. But I use it every other day. All of my face washes you can use on your body. They're all balanced where you can spread them in your, private parts, penis, vagina. That meant a lot to me because sometimes in the bath, I just want to go through everything and not think. But again, people need specific stuff, so I wanted to make a line of just face washes so that people don't feel like they can use what's on their face, on their body, just because they want to invest in something specifically for their face. Banana Face Alchemy is great for people that feel like they're aged. You know when you wake up and you have those lines from your sheets in the morning and all that? I wanted stuff to eliminate a little bit of wrinkles, but to still hydrate. And again, all my stuff, if you really get up on my skin, I don't filter my pictures on Instagram. I try to take them under the light because I'm a darker person and I'll disappear in the dark. But basically, all of the stuff is really there to brighten and hydrate. I don't have any makeup on right now, not a lick, just some lip gloss. And, it works. Serums, there's 6 different types of serums that exist. You got like your exfoliating serum, your hydrating serums. You have, what a serum is, it's like a vitamin-enriched, oil-based whatever. Some people do water-based, but water-based stuff really isn't needed if you're drinking water, right? So you don't need like water in your products if you're washing your face with water, but everybody has a different theory. I just noticed that when I wash my face with something that really foams and is rich with stuff that isn't stripping, drying, and like fragrance, people don't remember the healing factors that take place with a little bit of essential oils. If you read up on any essential oils, geranium, lavender, ylang ylang, clary sage, each essential oil has a purpose. It's not just for scents, but essential oils are really, really good and therapeutic for our skin as well. So hibiscus oil is great for hair growth. Anise seeds, anise oil, saffron, all these different ingredients that really aren't in products that I found. I said, you know what, I want to make stuff that's not only affordable, but that people can see and feel the difference in. And like literally use overnight. I'll put on a vetiver or a little bit of lemonade, and literally the next morning a little polyp is gone, a little whatever. So not only does it work, but you want stuff to be like multi-usage. I like having different, like the Revive, great for your feet because it's got some green tea and it's got some cumin. I would just say that instead of overwhelming people with all the details on each product, I'm going to jump in every week, try to share some new stuff, share some different face stuff, throw some different info on how we can take care of our skin without feeling like we need to be chemists and scientists and study everything that's really just not there for our healing. It's there to make practitioners and the medical richer, because if I can get you to depend on these chemical peels and these dermabrasions and these, I only think that what women need, hair removal. Let's say you have a little extra hair and you want to get some laser hair stuff done. Great. That's about all we should really be investing in outside of products that are going to take care of our skin long term. All of the extra tools, all the extra brushes, all the extra, it literally will strip our face and skin. A lymph brush, a dry lymph brush is all you need in the morning. Real dry, just sheds all the dead skin. You don't have to sit there and exfoliate and do all the other stuff. But again, less is more. Simplicity really works. So I never found that in certain products and shampoos and hair stuff. You know, everybody has their differences, but I didn't want to just use like a hair gel. I like my hair to move. I like my hair to have some bounce. But again, to breathe, which is why I don't use shea butter in anything. We'll talk about that later. I don't use cheaper oils that aren't as absorbable in our pores, like soy, safflower. I don't use them at all. More expensive oils are that for a reason. They have higher vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. They are more soluble in our skin. Argan oil, even though I spend the most on it, it really does heal our face. I don't think any other oil other than macadamia, jojoba, and argan should be used consistently on our face and skin. And that's about it for today. But face washes, if you're having any problems, come to where you'll find something that doesn't have fragrances and harsh stuff that's gonna rip your skin over time. Your skin does not need exfoliants like that when you're using stuff with a little bit of real lemon in it, with a real, oh no, no lemon, not a whole goddamn, not a whole bag of baking, not a whole, everything in moderation, and knowing how to put stuff together, thank God, has allowed me to make my own deodorant with a little bit of arrowroot and baking soda and neem, because every baking soda deodorant and magnesium deodorant irritated me, and I wanted to start healing my underarms and having no discolor. All of that's to say, you have to make it yourself or find an alternative if things don't work out there. So that's basically what I've strived to do the last like 8 to 10 years. And I'm just grateful because it was not always at the space that it was at now. Consistent hard work does pay off, and it really is just having faith and in not using anything but my own products. I've seen not only growth in my hair, but consistency in other people's, and just my keloids have gone down. The color in my skin is totally even. A lot of stuff that I wasn't finding consistency. I might have saw something fly for like a week, but then boom, here go the breakouts again. So I'm gonna try to do these more. Another question that was asked is, yeah, like what face washes are good for this, or all of them will heal eczema and psoriasis. I do think that people need to feel things so they can feel them out themselves and go, I understand what she meant. I feel what she means. This one, Beets and Rose, is really dope, really great, really hydrating for maybe even like fairer skin tones that want to brighten and all that good stuff. Banana Face is really great for wrinkles, but also really good for like those little blemishes and wanting to fade scars over time. Banana oil is so amazing for that, so you don't need a bleaching agents in your skincare. You don't need like ambies and all of that stuff that's messing with our melanin and the way our melanin and melasomes and melanocrites are produced. All that to say, there's different layers, and you have like your sublayer, your surface, and then your under, and then the real under. And that real under is what gets altered, and then it doesn't allow other things to be filtered. Kind of like having a mask over the sun. You still want to be able to take in all the vitamins and all the enriching things, but not have like this slab of paraben and the slab of fragrance and the slab of all the stuff that's going to rip your skin up over time. So that's it for the face washes. Next week or in a couple days, I'll answer some questions about the difference in serums and what serums are best for skin and why. But again, serums are just enriched, enhanced, whatever. And you can use both. You can use a little serum and then a moisturizing cream on top, which is really what I do like this. Let me show you this real quick. But like I'll use, this is just like a butter. That's like how thick it is, right? But when I use just a little, you're gonna see some. I rub this right on here, my face. It fades right in. It's not like any white stuff that sits in your crevices of your skin. And I was gonna do my face, but I don't even need to do all that right now because I did lotion my face a couple minutes ago. But you can put whatever serum you want and then a nice moisturizer just on top to seal in, because our skin will still get dry throughout the day, and we don't want that to happen either. So if you can think of starting to eat better, if you do make choices that are like, you know what, I haven't been using the bathroom the way that I know that I should be, and I do eat steak and fried chicken 4 times a week, let me just pull that back to 1 time a week and see how I feel. You know, I don't want to make anybody do anything too extreme, but to start to become aware that plant-based foods are amazing. And I'm not talking about soy-enriched foods or foods that are inundated to like replace chicken or replace beef. Those aren't the greatest in our digestive tracts and systems either. So, you know, just take it a day at a time. Don't beat yourself over the head for wanting to indulge in a good craving and have, you know, a little bit of smooth, whatever, a little bit of sorbet, a little bit of coconut-based ice cream stuff. There's an alternative to everything out there now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be soy. So I just want to encourage people to remember that. And again, 10-15 minutes a day of just basic exercise will thrust us into such a better space, because sweating allows the glands in our skin, all that stuff to come out. It's not trapped in there. So once you come out and then wash it really well and then hydrate and replace, you basically are doing 98% of the work that dermabrasions and skin peeling and chemical peels. If you're not artificial, if you don't have artificial parts in you and a whole bunch of stuff that's man-made, then you need nature-based stuff to balance and to heal. You cannot use chemical-based stuff if you are trying to become or a plant-based person. It'll be more stripping. It's not as good for us. But again, I'm not here to persuade or to think. I just know based on how I feel and wanting to extend that to other people that might be suffering from allergies or still having so much problems and, polyps and skin stuff. Like, only thing that really, I think that we as women might feel a little is just getting a little hair removal. If you think, it's not nothing to be too ashamed about. And there are different types. I'll talk about that because that's all I've really ever invested in. After I had a more, I started getting a little bit of hair on my face, not my chin, not this, this is called your lip. Not my lip brow, but my chin had like 4 or 5 hairs, and it was embarrassing. I found a place that did WAG lasers for melanated women, and I invested in about 6 to 8 sessions over I'd say 8 months, a year. I didn't have to go a lot. Once every 2-3 months, when you see hair start to grow, you go. Mine kind of went away in a couple of sessions, and I should have gotten it done a year before I felt like I needed, because it's embarrassing for yourself to start feeling changes like that. But when you're breastfeeding, a little bit more estrogen produced, and you want to make sure your child's getting the proper calcium, I went in. So all those things are to say that's the only thing that I would really recommend. All that other stuff is so not needed. You can eliminate pimples and blackheads and all that stuff from your skin by doing certain stuff to it, of course, but it's not anything that anybody else has to necessarily do for you. You can literally go in the middle, in the mirror, use something that is not a tool. Warm your face, warm your skin, open your pore, 2 little Q-tips, get out the junk, seal, little, that's it. All this 8 different products for your skin going crazy because you're putting too much on it. You're doing too much. You can have 8 to 10 different natural products because they're all natural based. They're all based in something like chamomile, calendula, stuff that's real, not like calendula oil with safflower stuff in it and a whole bunch of other junk that's not going to allow the straight calendula to heal your skin. It's got too many other things. So again, I wanted to eliminate and create because I couldn't find in anything that even said organic and natural. If it's organic and natural, how am I breaking out if I'm on a live food diet for 2 years? Those are questions I asked myself because I did go through certain stuff just in testing. Let me be a live foodist for 2 years and check. Just in testing to see the difference. And a lot of products that claim to be certain things aren't. So instead of bashing and think, let me just invest and make my own and see how it goes. So CordobaOrganics.com. Thank you so much for listening today. Again, this is going to be called More Than Skin. And I'm going to try to answer questions that I don't necessarily always have time. Not even. I could make the time, but then I have less time to make products. And my main thing is getting products out within 1 to 4 business days. Now that it's grown, I need more than 1 day. So promising that and staying committed and consistent to that is something that means the most to me. So sometimes I'll let a couple days with, people's specific questions, because I'll be there for hours typing with people. Hey, Celina, why don't you answer the questions that people have and just jump in and do something right before you gotta go out? Like right now, we were gonna go out to eat, but somebody came by to get something from So I was like, okay, we got 20, 30 minutes to kill. So I said, for a half an hour, let me just sit down and do this, because that's part of the thing as well. When you're making and producing so much, you want to be able to sit and share and show, but that takes away from producing and from actually getting the work done. So just a little bit more balance now that things are completed. I can have a little more fun in taking these moments to talk and say thank you to everyone that's ever supported. You don't need a major cosign, you know. Of course, it's great for people that have it, but in not having it, I'm just expressing that you don't need it, you know, and I'm so grateful to have come this far without having one none of that. And now it's to say that the doors, the floodgates are open. Hopefully all of that will manifest, but in not feeling as though I needed acknowledgement from anybody but the people that used my products has really given me such a peace and sense of tranquility. And I just feel, I feel so blessed, and I can't do anything else but share it and create more and give praise to my ancestors that have given me the creativity to think of things a little bit outside of the box, and to thank you guys for trusting me in the process, trusting me with your skin, with what you put on your children, all of that and then some. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for all of us. So thank you, CordobaOrganics.com. Peace.